everyone. I'm Darlene Young from Arlington, and I'd like to welcome you back for another episode and another program in our series, Mindful Health Alternatives, that appears here on CAT TV monthly on Channel 15. The goal of the series, if you remember, is to introduce all of you to a more healthy and less stressful lifestyle, give you different ideas of how to handle your life and to manage your stress. And we have had several different folks come and speak on meditation, on cleansing, on nutrition, on Chinese medicine, on acupuncture. So today I have with me Sally Gibney from Dorset, and she is the founder of the You Are Never Alone Foundation, a nonprofit organization. And Sally is here to discuss different things and how to celebrate ourselves and to remind people that you are never alone. Sally, welcome.
Well, thank you, Darlene. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for coming.
I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you. Would you like to tell the folks a little bit about your organization?
Oh, of course. The You Are Never Alone Foundation started actually with a dream I had about 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. And in the dream, I was holding a little wooden coin with an angel and the message, "You're never alone." Mm-hmm. And it was so real that when I woke up, I looked for the coin. Mm-hmm. And when I couldn't find it, I realized I was dreaming. And I thought, oh, this is kind of weird. But then I thought about it, and I thought, what a neat message that you're never alone. Everyone feels alone at one time or another.
Right.
So, and you know, it wasn't until a little bit later that I realized it was for me too, because even though I had a family and a husband that cared about me, I was going through some stuff, and I was feeling alone. Mm-hmm. So I kind of put it aside, you know, didn't do anything about it, and then it kept coming back, you've got to do something about this. So I asked a friend if he would draw an angel, and it had to be kind of a free-flowing angel. Mm-hmm. And then I found a man up north who could burn the coins. Now they had to be wood, and they had to be made in Vermont, mm-hmm. and you had to feel the angel. Mm-hmm. So I went up and I asked this guy, if Dexter, if he could burn these coins for me. Mm-hmm. And I said to him, these are going around the world. Well, he rolled his eyes like, this one is crazy. She's really crazy. But he did make 100 of them, and they weren't consistent. But you did get the point across. Mm-hmm. Now, at that time, my mom was in the throes of Alzheimer's disease. She was in the depths of the disease. Mm-hmm. She was frightened. She was lost. She didn't know us. Mm-hmm. So I put one of the coins on each of the side rails of her bed. And as upset as she was, mm-hmm. she would look at the coin and she'd smile.
Oh, wow.
So the coin did what words couldn't do. Mm-hmm. You know, so when she died, we have a large family. I gave the coins out at her funeral, and I thought, that's it. That's what I was supposed to do. Mm-hmm. But it kept coming back, and it kept, you know, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. So I found a man in Springfield, Vermont Stoneworks, and he had a hand laser machine. Mm-hmm. And I asked him if he could help me, if he could make the coins. Mm-hmm. Well, his wife loved angels, and he loved the message, so it was like a match made in heaven.
Oh, that's great, Sally.
It really worked out. So he started making them. Mm-hmm. And then I started sharing them randomly. You know, nobody was safe. I'd go up to someone and I'd give them the coin. And it was amazing how every time I did, mm-hmm. people said, I needed to hear that. Mm-hmm. Because everyone can feel alone at one time or
sure.
another.
Most definitely.
Yeah, so it was really, and then I gave them out randomly, and then there were 650 Vermonters going to Mississippi to train to go to Iraq. Mm-hmm. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if people could sign a letter for each of the troops?
Right.
And, you know, give them a coin. Mm-hmm. And so I found the commander up in Rutland. I said to him, can I talk to you? He said, lady, if you can find me, you can talk to me. His name was Stephen Bragg. And I asked him what he thought, and he thought it was a great idea. Mm-hmm. And so we did. We got people they signed the cards and whatever, and we gave the coins to the troops. And we got all these emails saying they wore them with their dog tags.
Oh, how cool.
So it was really, really neat.
Very neat.
You know? And then since that time, when Katrina happened, we mm-hmm. did the same thing. And I brought 2,300 coins to Houston myself mm-hmm. and gave them out to people there. Mm-hmm. And I thought, they've lost everything. What are they going to think, getting a coin and a card? Mm-hmm. But the cards were signed by different people. Mm-hmm. And it meant so much to them that someone cared.
That's very good.
So what you're saying about everyone needing to know that they matter and that it's so important.
Oh, it is. It is.
Yeah.
You know, in our society today, there are so many things going on, from the smallest, youngest newborn to the oldest person on the
absolutely.
planet. And I know that, you know, some folks like in Bennington, one that comes readily to mind is Steve Breakstone, who is an educator, a youth educator at Projects Against Violent Encounters here in Bennington. And he has a series on bullying and how students and young people can deal with their lives when they're being bullied. And, you know, with teen suicides and even adult suicides, there are so many things that matter. You yourself matters. I mean, you know, what is horrendous right at this moment, right now, if you could get someone to talk to or to interact with, or even to go on to like Sally's website, or just call a friend, talk to them, and you will understand that you do matter, and that whatever is horrendous right now can be better within, you know, a few minutes, and it doesn't have to be life-ending.
Yeah, and you know, we do a lot of programs with the schools. The I Matter, You Matter coins are two little figures reaching out to each other, and this is our logo. It started when Katrina happened, actually. And we do a lot with one of the survivors of Katrina. When I gave him the coin and I said, "This person cares about you," he filled up and he said to me, "Someone cares about me, I must matter." And that stuck with me. You know, it really, really stuck with me. So now we have the I Matter, You Matter coins. And the card reads, "You matter, there's no one else just like you. You matter simply because you are you."
Yes.
And you know, we do programs in schools, and the kids get a coin and they get a coin to share. But you know, I really, Darlene, I see when we speak to the kids, you know, when you really talk to them, it means so much to them to know that they matter. And when they feel that they matter, if someone comes up to them and says something or whatever, it's not as important then. Because if you feel good in yourself, if you start to feel good about yourself, you don't care so much about what someone else says. And when children start to realize that if they matter, so does this person, and then they can reach out to each other.
Oh, sure.
You know, and stand up for each other and really make a difference in each other's lives. Because I truly believe that each person is very special and does matter. And each one of us can make a difference.
Always.
You know, one person at a time.
Yeah.
You know, it's really, really important. And the kids get it. They do get it.
Well, they do. I mean, they just, I don't know if, I think when we're younger, we tend to laugh and we tend to think differently than we do when we're older.
Well, life happens. You know, life gets in the way sometimes, you know. And I think today it's so hard because technology, social networking, everything is so huge and it's going so fast. You know, when well, I'm a lot older than you are, but when we would go outside and play and you talk and you do creative little things. Now everybody's texting. I mean, kids are texting the kid next to them. It's not like they're even looking at each other and talking.
Sure.
And that's missing that interaction, which you were talking about. That's so important. You know, the communication, the really talking to each other and learning to just know each other.
Sure. Sally and her group just did a program with a veterans home in Bennington. And before we came on the air, I was looking through the scrapbook that a couple of board members had taken pictures during the event. And it is so phenomenal.
Oh, it's fabulous.
It's like, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
It was absolutely fabulous. So this I Matter, You Matter Day is March 28th. And this year it was our 3rd annual worldwide I Matter, You Matter Day. And we did an event up in Manchester. And then, you know, it was really ironic how this happened. My brother-in-law is a Vietnam vet, and he was diagnosed with ALS. And he was with us for some months, and then he was unable to stay at home. He just couldn't manage. So I came down to see the veterans home, and I was walking through with Gary, and I had my coins around my neck, and Christina Cosgrove, the head social worker, came up to me and she said, "I know those coins. I got one of those. My sons gave me those coins." And so we were talking about it, and they said, you know, it would be really neat if you could do an I Matter, You Matter event here. So fast forward, Alan is now a resident at the Veterans Home, and it's a wonderful place. They're so caring, and they really, really, it's a very, very loving place, you know. But anyway, so we had the event there. And they did the raising of the 55 commemorative flags, John Miner and the Vietnam vets. It was so touching and so so amazing. Reading the Declaration of Thank You from President Obama to the Vietnam vets. And then afterwards we came indoors and we had decorated the whole place with all of these I matter, you matter little slogans that the kids had come up with, you know, caring connections and all this sort of thing. And there were so many of the vets in the wheelchairs and children. And there was face painting and all kinds of activities and bracelet making and lots of music and line dancing. And the connection to see the children with the vets and the whole, it was just a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Yeah. Well, like I had said to you, looking through the scrapbook, just a couple of the pictures, you know, it just spoke thousands of words. I mean, you know, there was a lady standing with her hand on someone's shoulder and looking at them, and you could just feel the energy in the room by looking at the picture. And with the children interacting with the veterans and with the other folks that were there, there was just so much energy.
You know, there is nothing like caring connections. You know, and everything we do, a smile, a wave, a touch, a hi, that's a connection.
Yeah.
And that's what these little coins do. They're a reminder of a caring connection, a reminder that someone cared. And you keep them with you, and it just, you know, I find myself just playing with it, just feeling it, you know, and that's what people say. Since that dream, 107,000 caring coins have gone around the world.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so, and it all started with the dream.
Yeah.
You know, it has nothing to do with me. Every time I think, oh good, we're done, something happens,
Well,
and you have to keep going, you know.
Sure.
And it's, but you know, I think I so believe in people, and I so believe in our youth. And I think, as you say, we have to stop and take a deep breath and reach inside.
Yeah.
There's so much more in there than we realize, and it's just to be able to touch that and share it.
I had the opportunity, like 3 weeks ago, to meet 3 young men from Mount Anthony. 2 of them were seniors and 1 was a junior. And they are either hard of hearing or they're deaf. I went to the deaf culture panel out at the Bennington Center for the Arts that Melissa Kate Adams put together. There was probably about 10, 11 people on the panel, including these 3 young men, and Luke Adams, who was on The Amazing Race, and Sean Forbes, who is a musician and has his own band. And there was a couple of ladies and a couple of other folks. And after the panel, there was like an intermission before Sean played some of his music. And I had an opportunity to talk with 2 of the 3 young men through one sister who did the interpretation. And these kids, they are so brave. They are in a mainstream school that has a little bit of the American Sign Language, ASL, but not all of the teachers are versed in ASL. Some of these children can read lips, and they have to basically keep their eyes on the teacher for the whole class in order to understand what's going on. In order to retain what's going on, they have to have note takers for them. And these kids could have easily been defeated. I mean, off, they both talked about hearing aids and how difficult it was to start using their hearing aids and how they rebelled against their parents. And you know, when you think about it, these kids went through an awful lot. And thank heavens there were parents and other people who really cared about them to get them to understand that the hearing aids were important, or the kids themselves making that final act. But someone was there to make sure that these kids knew that they mattered. And they're fantabulous individuals. You know?
I really, as I say, I so believe in our youth. You know, it was funny, for the foster children of Bennington County, the Family Services has a Christmas party. They have a Christmas Santa shop where the kids can go, and people from all over make donations, and then the kids go and pick out presents for their birth family and for their foster families.
cool.
And they can wrap the gifts and everything. And it's a really a wonderful thing. And so all different groups in the community collect things. You know, there are new things or gently used that they can, you know, give off as gifts. And I brought, we do it at our church, and I was bringing them down to the home so that they had to family services so they could, you know, set them up for the kids. And I called up and I had a carload of stuff. And now they're on the 3rd floor. They used to be in the trailer, so you could just go right in. But and so I called up, and they were very busy. They had people there, and nobody was able to come down to help me bring the things up. And I said, but I've got a carload of stuff. So I thought, oh well, we'll just have to, you know, I'll just have to get them up there. And I went out in the parking lot, and there were 3 kids over on the side, and they're smoking, you know. And so I went out over to them, and I said, hey guys, I said, can you help me out? And they said, hi. And I said, I need your help. Come on, you know. And I said, these are for the foster kids. So can you help me bring them upstairs?
Sure.
So they put out their cigarettes, and one of them said to me, you know, I was a foster kid.
Really?
And another one said, my cousin's a foster kid. I said, really? And they were so excited to help with this event.
That's great.
And it was just asking them, and there they were, and you would have thought, well, maybe, but they just jumped right in. So I think sometimes if we give them an opportunity and, you know, reach out, and but we have to tell them, you know, if we don't teach them, our children become who we allow them to become. And if we don't teach them, how do they know?
Yeah. And I mean, just give them an opportunity, you know. And, you know, like even with children in your family, you know, sometimes in the hustle and bustle of life, we tend to forget about, you know, our younger siblings or our older siblings or cousins or whatever. And to be able to just give them an opportunity or just to talk with them, you know, it's...
Sit down to a meal.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone's so busy today, but you're racing here and there and schedules and, you know, practices and everything. But even just to have a couple of nights a week where you actually sit down as a family, you know, it makes such a difference.
I mean,
really,
when was the last time you sat down and colored with a 3-year-old or played a harmonica with a 3-year-old? And, you know, just to see the wonder in the eyes expand, it's like, oh, I just made some music, and you know that picture is really pretty. Yeah, you know it's just mind-boggling.
Oh,
what
they're
you can
so
do.
wonderful, and they really do love to show you what they can do.
Gosh, yes.
You know, our little granddaughter Lily is 5.5, and she was she had a drawing on her easel, and she said, Grammy, what do you think? And I said, Lily, it is absolutely fabulous. And she said, well, you know, Grammy, I dreamed that someday my paintings are going to hang in a famous museum.
Oh, that's cool.
And I said, well, you know what, they are. I totally believe they are. So then she said, well, let's play school, Grammy. And I said, okay. And she said, well, all right, you're one of the kids. And then she had all these make-believe kids, and she had them all come, okay, come and sit, come and sit, come and sit. And we're all sitting there, and she said, now, I want you to look at my picture and tell me what you think of my picture. Now, who wants to say something? So I raised my hand. So she said, not you. You talk all the time. But it was so much fun. And to see her use her imagination, you know, and I think if we can just take time, you know, and we are busy, but it's so important. Our children are our most precious resource. And if we don't give them the time, you know, then we can't complain about how they turn out if we don't spend our time with them.
You know, and you can teach them traditions, and I mean, another thing, just thinking of, you know, how we can celebrate ourselves, and you know, letting children know that they're not alone. I mean, this works from a young child, like 2 or 3 years old, right straight up through teenagers. I mean, when was the last time you bought a jug of bubbles, you know, like from Walmart or Kmart, and you know, like sat on your deck or sat on the front steps
and chase the bubbles,
and you know, chase the bubbles, blow bubbles, take them to the shore with you when you go, you know, on your vacation.
Well, you know,
and
at the dollar store for Easter, they have all of these different things with bubbles in them. And that's, you know, there's so many simple things that, you know, used to be traditions that you did all the time, but they're coming back. And I think it's just being aware of it. You know, and being aware how every single person matters. And, you know, talking to people, well, I talk to everybody, and the kids say, oh, Mom, you know, they see, they're like, oh, my gosh. But, you know, even someone online at the grocery store, you know, or say hello to a senior, you might be the only person who talked to that person that day. You know, there are simple little things. We say a wave, a smile, a hello. it makes such a difference.
Oh, yeah.
It can turn someone's day around.
And even like with an adult, like for myself, I have severe arthritis in my knee and my ankle, so walking sometimes is prohibitive for me. And if I want to go shopping, like to Walmart or Kmart or a bigger store, sometimes I get into one of those little buggies that they have. It affords me the comfort of being able to shop a little bit longer and to go shopping with my friends, especially at some of these super Walmarts. And the other day, I was over in Lebanon, New Hampshire, and I was in a Kmart, and I was looking at a blouse that was way up on, like the top rack, and it was hanging, and I had my cane with me, and I went to reach up to get a blouse off the hanger, and all of a sudden there was this young woman, I would say she was in her 20s, right next to me, and she had seen me struggling trying to get it down, and she's like, "Oh, let me help, let me help." And usually in some of these instances, people will do more to laugh at you rather than to come and help you. Yeah. And I was just so taken aback, and it's like, and we got into a really great conversation.
You have to carry coins and give her a coin.
I know. I'll have to put some more in my purse because I have a couple of in my desk drawer here at Cat TV, and I gave them out to a couple of people.
I'll give you some more.
Oh, good, thanks.
Because really, they are just a wonderful reminder of a caring connection. We went to a symphony. Our children had given us tickets to the symphony after Christmas, and Alan, our brother-in-law, came with us, and we were outside waiting for Bob to come with the car, and he fell back in the snow. And there was this group of kids coming along, and it happened so quick. Well, do you know, these kids came right over, picked him right up, brushed the snow off him and said, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I mean, it was just such a, a neat, nice thing to do, So there are a lot of these wonderful things that are happening. There are things that aren't so wonderful, but we have to celebrate the things that are, and celebrate when people do wonderful things. And something that I think that has helped me tremendously is a gratitude list.
Okay. Can you explain a little bit about that?
I went through a challenging time a few years ago, and one of the things that someone recommended to me was to write down all the things you're grateful for. And there were so many. It might be just getting up in the morning, that first cup of coffee, or a hug from your spouse or your kids, or a sunshine, a car that works. I mean, just write down the things that you're grateful for. And as something comes up that you notice, add it to the list. And then when you're feeling down, when something is like you're just not feeling great, read that list. And it can bring you back. Gratitude can turn the day around. Sometimes we lose sight of the prize. We have our vision on the wrong prize. But when we remember how grateful we are and what we have to be grateful for, because we do have a lot to be grateful for.
Most definitely.
It really can make a difference. It really can make a difference in our lives. And another thing is to write down the good things about ourselves.
Oh, that's a thought.
There are good things. This is, someone recommended this to me too, and I think it's really cool. You notice when you get up in the morning and you wash your face and you brush your teeth and you put on your makeup or whatever, how often do you really look in the mirror and look at yourself?
No.
It's just like you do it. So this is what you need to do. First of all, fold your arms. All right. Now squeeze. Give yourself a hug. And you out there, do this too, okay? Fold your arms and squeeze. And say, I matter.
I matter.
I matter.
I matter.
I really matter.
I really matter.
And you know what? I am amazing.
I am amazing.
I may not be perfect, but there are things about me that are amazing.
I may not be perfect, but there are things that are really amazing. Absolutely amazing about me.
And on the back of your gratitude list, write the I am amazing list. And write down the things about yourself that are amazing, because there's so many. Look what you do for people. Look what it's just, and I think we lose track of that. We don't take the time to reach inside and say, hey, I am pretty cool. I am pretty neat. And if we don't appreciate ourselves, and we don't love ourselves and respect ourselves, and treat us with dignity, treat ourselves with dignity, that's our birthright. how can we expect other people to do it?
That's true. That's
You
very
know,
true.
It's really, really important for us to just listen to ourselves. You know, that intuition inside?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how God talks to us now. Maybe some people feel it's the universe or your greater self, but you know,
That's
how you get that, every once in a while you have that feeling that you know something, you just know it, but we don't take the time to stop and just try and think about that.
That is so neat to think about.
Yeah.
That's very good.
These are things that we can do for ourselves. And doing them for ourselves, we can share them with other people. You know? Because life is good.
Yeah.
And, you know, we have a lot to be grateful for. And I'm so grateful for you. I'm so glad we're friends.
Well, I am too, because I've just,
really,
you know, it's just so easy. Like before we came in here, we were going through the scrapbook, and poor Dan was waiting for us. And I mean,
he's
we don't
like,
have a
when
problem
are they gonna
talking,
stop?
you know.
I
It's
know,
like,
I know.
you know, and it's just so cool because we've just clicked, and you know, it's really great.
And enjoying the moment. You know, looking at the, you're like, this is not a dress rehearsal.
No.
You know, you really, really should enjoy the moment and make the most out of each day. And Anne Lindbergh wrote the book, The Gift from the Sea. Did you have that? Have you ever read it?
I've never read it, but I've heard of it.
It's a wonderful book. And in it she says, there are so many shells on the beach, and you don't collect all the shells, just collect a few, because they're more precious if there are a few.
Yep.
And the greatest gift of all is the gift of ourselves. And that's true.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. It really does.
I love that. I tell people about that book.
It's good.
I'm going to get it for you.
Thank you.
It's a very special book.
Thank you. Also, that I want to note too is Sally has written 2 books. We Are Never Alone by Sally Gibney and illustrations by Ron Crawford. And she also did The Angel Coins Journey from Lily's Christmas Tree to You, and that was also written by Sally. And pictures were by Lily and Scout.
And Scout's Proft from Someday Farm.
Oh, good.
Oh, she's such a
Would you like to
talented
just
lady.
tell the viewers a little bit about the 2 books?
The Caring Coins are just, well, and as I said, they came from a dream, so it's not, you know, but they mean so much to so many people. And just sharing them and what it, you know, just the connection. And so many people have said to me they found one here or they had one there, or kids will tell me they keep them in their pocket as kind of a touchstone to make the stop and think before they do something.
Sure.
And our little granddaughter, Lily, loves the coins, you know, and she shares them with people. So I thought, you know, I've been thinking about, there's so many stories from the coins, and I thought, how do you put it together? How do you share all of these stories? And then I just came up with this idea of a little story of the coin that Grammy gives to Lily at Christmas. She puts it on our tree, and then she says, wouldn't it be nice if I share it with someone after we take the tree down? And she shares it to someone who shares it with someone and shares it with someone and so on. And so it's the journey of the coin and how the coin goes from person to person, and each person has a different meaning for it. There's something very special for them. And then the book goes to the next Christmas, and Lily is going with her parents to get her Christmas tree, and she wonders what happened to her coin. And she looks down, and there it is on the street. And she picks it up, and she says, oh, I can't wait to put it on my Christmas tree. But instead of putting it on the Christmas tree, she gives it to you.
Very
and
good.
so you know, it's just kind of a fun story that gets the point across, that to reach out to each other and to share something with each other, and how it has such a meaning. And so we're going to have a series of these books, and we're going to have an I Matter, You Matter book instead of the Christmas coin, an I Matter, You Matter, so that children in schools can.
Well, that'll
have
be
it.
wonderful.
And, you know, to share the message. It's so important to reach out to each other and to care about each other and to care about ourselves. That's why it's I Matter, You Matter. Because if I don't care about me, how can I care about you?
That's true.
But if I care about me, if I matter, so do you. You know, and that's what it's about.
It is.
You know,
It is.
it's a very important message. But you do this all the time. You're reaching out to people all the time.
Well, I just enjoy people.
But you do, and it shows. It
Thank you.
shows.
Thank you.
You know, and so you are a gift.
And I do have a sense of humor. Sometimes people think that I'm really straight-laced and I don't laugh as much as I should. But I just love people, and I
laughter
just
is
love,
so
you know. And in order to love people, I have to like myself and love myself.
Absolutely.
So that's
I
good.
think we all do. And laughter, that's another thing that is so important.
I have a sign on the back of my computer screen out there. It says, laugh often. And, you know, you have to find humor in everything.
Oh, absolutely.
You really do.
And laugh at ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, because that's a really important thing. But that child inside of us never goes away.
No.
You know, and I have to tell you this one story. This one friend, Jenny, I have, she's like a child, and she's just a beautiful, lovely woman, and crazy. And we were at Shaw's one day, and she said to me, Sally, get on the wagon, and I'll give you a ride. And I said, oh, come on. She said, come on, do it. So I did. I got on the wagon. She pushed me up and down the aisles. People thought we were crazy, but we laughed. We had so much fun. Yep. You know, so just to every once in a while, let loose and let that child come out, you know, and have fun with it.
I drive my friends and my mom crazy sometimes because, well, like the other night, I picked up a friend that lives in a condo complex. A bunch of us were going to go out on Saturday night for dinner. And there just happened to be enough space from where she parked her car to where the next car was parked so that I could go around in a circle and just turn around to go out. Well, instead of just going out, I went around in a circle again. And somebody from one of the condos was peeking out their door, and you could just see the expression on their face. It's like, this woman's lost it. And you know, it's not that the woman lost it, it's like the woman is having fun and trying to create a diversion to make people laugh.
And you know what? Laughter is the jam on the toast of life.
Okay.
It adds flavor, keeps it from getting too dry,
Yeah.
and makes it easier to swallow.
Isn't that neat? That's true. That's great, Sally. That's wonderful.
I love that.
While preparing, I ran across another quote from a Rochelle E. Goodrich, and she wrote the book Smile Anyway, and it's quotes, verse, and grumblings for every day of the year.
I love that.
And the quote is, "You matter. You are important. There is a reason for your existence. You may not see or understand how this is true. But truth doesn't cease to be truth because of doubt, blindness, or ignorance. And the truth is, you matter."
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You know, and it just sums everything up.
It absolutely does. It really does.
But I just want to remind all of you, okay, that Sally's site is
youareneveralonefoundation.org.
okay, and it tells a lot of great stuff about the organization. And how you can get involved and how you can reach out to Sally.
Absolutely.
To get involved, or if you want to donate to it, or if you want to get some coins.
You know, and if you have any ideas of what we can do and how we can share our message, you know, we love to be in the schools. We love to be, and everyone, you know, everyone needs to know they matter. And the coin is a wonderful, it can be incorporated into different programs, you know, Meals on, whatever, just as a reminder of a caring connection.
Right. And like you said, Meals on Wheels could use the coins. The Serenity Singers, I don't know if you've heard of them. They've been here in the studio to do a show for us. Hospice, hospitals. You know, if you have, if you're a caregiver and you're caring for someone that's ill at home.
Neighbor to Neighbor gives them to the volunteers who give them to the people that they're volunteering with. I mean, it's just a wonderful reminder, and it kind of brings us back to the fact that everyone is important. Everyone does matter.
It is.
And we're part of this family, this human family. You know, so I think it's cool.
Well, I'd like to thank Sally for bringing her message to us today,
thank you.
You know, and I want to have her back again, and you know, and I just want to impress upon all of you, our viewers, that you really matter, and I matter, and you matter. And thank you once again for being with us to care.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.